من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم صلى الله عليك يا رسول الله وعلى أهل بيتك المظلومين صلى الله عليك يا سيدي ويا مولاي يا أبا عبد الله يا رحمة الله الواسعة ويا باب نجاة الأمة ويا عبرة كل مؤمن ومؤمنة يا غريب يا شهيد كربلاء فيا ليتنا كنا معكم سادتي فنفوز فوزا عظيما. I begin in the name of the Almighty God, the Compassionate, the Merciful, the One who has created everything in utmost perfection. And may His peace and blessing be upon His pure Prophet, the peak of His creation, the symbol of humanity, the Holy Prophet Muhammad. And upon his beloved progeny, the Ahlul Bayt, peace be upon them, especially the savior of our time, Al-Imam Al-Mahdi, Ajjallahu Ta'ala Farajahu Sharif. May Allah hasten in his reappearance. Respected brothers and sisters, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Before we start, they told me to give an announcement. Inshallah, everybody that is here, step forward when it's more compacted and more people come, because it's going to be harder. It's going to be harder for them to enter, inshallah. And each step that you come forward, inshallah, it will be a step in Karbala, inshallah, with Allah salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad. I'm also talking with the sisters, not only the brothers. Inshallah, they will also come forward, inshallah. So, أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم قال الله تعالى في محكم كتابه الشريف وقوله حق بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم لقد كان في قصصهم عبرة لأولي الألباب ما كان حديثا يفترى ولكن تصديق الذي بين يديه وتفصيل كل شيء وهدى ورحمة لقوم مؤمنين. Illuminate your hearts and minds with a loud salawat. اللهم صل على محمد وعلى محمد. Throughout history, when we look every corner of history, we see that it is filled with turning points. Points that changed the course of humankind. That turning point, that action, that event changed the whole course of living of the humankind. It changed it. And it's not only religious, it's also historical, it's also scientifical, it's also social, it's also political. All of these events changed it, and today we are here after those events. And let me tell you some of them, talk about some of them. The first one that we can talk, first let's talk about those that are religious. The first one that we can talk is when Prophet Adam was descended to earth from paradise. That was the start of humankind on earth. That was the first turning point. If he wasn't here, if he wasn't descended to this world, no humankind would be here. And that's the first turning point. So because of that, we are here. The first one. The second one that we can talk, it's a big one. It's about Prophet Noah, and the flood that happened. It changed humankind. That we say he is our second father. Prophet Adam is our first, Prophet Noah is our second. Why? Because humankind after that was demolished. There was no humankind. Only those that were in that boat those were saved. So humankind was demolished and restarted one more time after that flood. They saw the consequences of chaos, after not acting upon good, upon truth. They saw that, and it was demolishing all humankind, being demolished from earth. That's the second one. The third one that we can talk is about Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa alihi. He brought Islam. He brought this path that we are in today. And it's because of him that we are Muslim, and it's because of him that we are Shia. That's another change. That's another turning point that we have. So these were religious. We can talk more and more. We have others. Qabil killing Qabil. The society not choosing Imam Ali. The tragedy of Karbala. And we can talk more and more of turning points in religious. Let's go to non-religious turning points. The period of Renaissance. What happened? That Europe saw those Christians and they didn't want them. So they removed them. And it became a change in their path. They became more educated. They became more loved towards arts. And they changed. They didn't want any more Christianity. They didn't want any more religion. So they changed. And because of that change, right after that, in that century, 2 wars become. World War I, World War II was after that century, after that event, because of that. That's one turning point. Even World War I and World War II, these are also turning points. After that, how did it affect the economy? How did it affect the population that we have? It affected it. That's another one. Another one that we have, the invention of major technologies that we have. Internet, telephones, electricity. And today we are in the age of artificial intelligence, AI. And we can see how it changes it. It's another turning point. We are in it. How it affects jobs, how it affects people, how it affects thoughts that we have. It affects everything. This is another turning point that we have. Even the discovery of the continent of America. That's another changing point. That's another turning point. It changed a lot of people's thoughts. It changed the economic. It changed the cultures. It changed the migration patterns. It changed a lot of things. Just finding America, the continent of America. Another turning point that we have, and we are waiting for it, the greatest and most significant turning point that is still not come, is the reappearance of Imam Mahdi that we are waiting for him right now. That's a turning point. Amir al-Mu'mineen states, we have it in the book of Nahj al-Balagha. Please, 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 if you have time, make time for reciting this book, Nahj al-Balagha. It's by Sayyid Radi. It's a very beautiful book. All the words of Amir al-Mu'mineen, most of the words of Amir al-Mu'mineen, his sermons, his letters, his knowledgeable speeches are in this book by Sayyid Radi. And Sayyid Radi is not just a scholar, ordinary scholar. He's very special. He was the student of Shaykh Mufid, and he was the teacher of Shaykh Tusi. So he's a very important guy and very important scholar. And we can find that from his books. He has this Nahj al-Balagha that they say that it's Akhul Quran. It's the brother of Quran. After Quran, the most significant book that we have is Nahj al-Balagha. Please recite it. It's very easy. It's very nice. It's very beautiful when you recite. And it's translated also in English. You can find it. It's translated in different ways. English, Urdu, Farsi. Just recite. And those that are Arabic, the book is Arabic. Recite it. Read it. Study it. It's very good. And Amir al-Mu'mineen, in one of his sermons, he talks about the day of reappearance of Imam Mahdi Ajallah Ta'ala Faraj al-Sharif. And he says in this sermon, what does he say? He says, he states, يَعْطِفُ الْهَوَى عَلَى الْهُدَى إِذَا عَطَفُوا الْهُدَى عَلَى الْهَوَى. On the day of the reappearance, Imam Mahdi will change the desires of people to guidance. He will change the desires to guidance. After the desires are not toward the guidance. Today, the guidance, our desires don't go toward what we have to go. Don't go toward guidance. We are all against it. What we want, what we desire is different what Allah wants from us. We desire sometimes haram food. Astaghfirullah. We desire that. It's not guidance. We desire not to obey God. We desire not to pray sometimes. Not in this majlis. Everybody in this majlis, I know from my heart, they don't desire that. They are the good companions of Imam Mahdi, inshaAllah. But others we see in other cultures, the majority of people, they are against guidance. They do something against it. And also another sign that he says, وَيَعْطَفُ الرَّيْ عَلَى الْقُرْآنِ إِذَا عَطَفُوا الْقُرْآنِ عَلَى الرَّيْ. He will redirect the opinions of people toward Quran. That means Quran will become asl, it will become the main, and our opinions would go toward it. We will obey that. Right now, everybody recites the Quran and they change it the way they want it. They change it the way they benefit from it. They don't translate it the way it's correct. They translate it the way it's wrong. The way they desire, the way they want it, the way their opinion is. They don't care what the Quran says. They say, okay, I'll recite the Quran. Let me find what I want. And they will translate it in a beautiful way. And in first sight, you see it. Wow, it's correct. But when you think a little about it, no, it's for his desire. It's for his comfort. Not what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says. And Imam Mahdi will come and that will be a turning point. He will turn this around. He will change it. He will change it into a place that we all obey Quran. The Quran becomes the main book in our lives and we will obey it inshaAllah. So, and another point that we have to talk is because of that Imam Mahdi's reappearance is a changing point, is a turning point. Shaitan doesn't want that to happen. And he is doing his effort for this. A good effort for this. He is so strong. His will is so strong in this way. He is delaying this reappearance. Wahab ibn Jumay', he comes to Imam Sadiq alayhi salam. Sallallahu ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. He asked Imam Sadiq about shaitan and his saying in the Quran that we have. We have it that shaitan asked Allah, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, فَأَنذِرْنِي إِلَى يَوْمَ يُبْعَثُونَ. Oh God, give me time until the day of resurrection. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, I will give you time. He asks, أَيُّمْ هُوَ. What day is that? Imam Sadiq says, don't think that that's the day of judgment. No, that's not the day of judgment. You might translate it to that, but that's not the day of judgment. What day is that? That day, the day of resurrection, we mean the day that our Imam Mahdi would come, he would reappearance, and he will destroy shaitan. And he is waiting for that day. The day that shaitan will be removed from earth is not the day of judgment. It's in this world when Imam Mahdi comes. His reappearance of Imam Mahdi will destroy shaitan. And that's why he is delaying that. He is doing anything he can. He's using anything he can until this can be delayed. Why? Because Imam Mahdi he is his enemy and he is delaying that until that day doesn't come. We don't see that day. And he's doing a good job. We see it. It's being delayed for almost 11 centuries. He's doing a very good job. And we're not paying attention to this. The shaitan wants this to be delayed. So, in one hand, we have this, that shaitan wants to delay it. In another hand, when we see Allah's work in this world, we find out that this world is based on free will. Is based on free will. This world is going around your will, what you want. And when we see and when we study historical reports, we see that. For an example, let me give you an example. Muhammad salawat. So, first of all, in Quran, Allah states that I am planning that your free will change this world. How does He say it? In Surah Al-Ra'd, the 13th chapter of the Quran, verse 11, He says, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, Inna Allah la yughayyiru ma biqawmin hatta yughayyiru ma bi-anfusihim. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will not change any group, will not change any community, will not change any society unless they change themselves. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants you to change, and then He will change the society. Another ayah that we have in Surah Al-Anfal, the chapter 8, verse 53. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. ذَلِكَ بِأَنَّ اللَّهَ لَمْ يَكُ مُغَيِّرًا نِعْمَةً أَنْعَمَهَا عَلَىٰ قَوْمٍ حَتَّى يُغَيِّرُوا مَا بِأَنفُسِهِمْ وَأَنَّ اللَّهَ سَمِيعٌ عَلِيمٌ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will not remove the blessing that He gives you. He gives you a blessing, He will not remove that. He is more kareem than that. He is more merciful than that He will remove it. Unless you change it yourself. You do a sin, you committed a sin, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will remove it. It's because your own act. Don't blame it on Allah. Oh Allah, why did you take this? Why did you take that? It's your own fault. You did this, I'm going to take it. You did this sin, you didn't pay attention to me, I'm going to remove it. It's your fault. It's not mine. Don't blame me. You committed this sin, you didn't pay attention to me, and I'm going to change it. Another verse that we have, Surah Shura, it's chapter 43, verse 8. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. وَلَوْ شَاءَ اللَّهُ لَجَعَلَكُمْ أُمَّةً وَاحِدَةً. If Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wanted, if He wanted, He could make all of humankind one united community, one united society, but He didn't want to do this. He wanted you to do this. He wanted you to become one united community. He could have done that. But He wanted to see if you can do this or not. From your own free will. From your own free will. There's no force in this world. He's not forcing you to do this. He wants you to change. He wants you to see. He wants Himself to see you united together. And historical events, when we research and see them, we see, for an example, in the time of Amir al-Mu'mineen, I'm going to give 3 examples in the time of Amir al-Mu'mineen, that the free will of those own people changed the path of that society and changed it until today. One of them is right after the Prophet passed away. If people in that time would help Amir al-Mu'mineen, would hold their swords against the enemies of Amir al-Mu'mineen would fight them, would have fought them. And he would stand against them, but there was no people. When Prophet talks to Amir al-Mu'mineen that after me, after the Prophet, this will happen to you. This and that will happen to you. And Amir al-Mu'mineen asked the Prophet that, فَقُلْتُ يَا رَسُولَ اللَّهِ فَمَا تَعْهَدُ إِلَيَّ إِذَا كَانَ كَذَلِكَ. What should I do if I find it in this situation? Because it's a hard situation. The Prophet told Amir al-Mu'mineen that after me, they will attack you. They will attack Fatima. Your house will be attacked. Amir al-Mu'mineen says, what should I do? The Prophet answers, إِذَا وَجَدْتَ أَعْوَانًا فَتْبَادِرْ إِلَيْهِمْ. If you find companions, then go against them. Then go attack them. Then go fight them. فَبَادِرْ إِلَيْهِمْ وَجَاهِدُوهُمْ. But Amir al-Mu'minin says, I only found four companions. Salman, Abu Dhar, Miqdad, and the other one, Abu Dhar. Salman, Ammar, Miqdad, Abu Dhar. Only four. I only found four companions, not more. And that's why I couldn't stand against them. Imam Sadiq alayhi salam or Imam Sajjad. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad wa ajil faraj. They were walking with a companion, one of the companions, and the companion asked him that, why don't you stand against these zalims, these oppressors? Imam Sadiq alayhi salam, they were going past a group of sheep. And he says to this companion that if my companions were among this group of sheep, I would have stand against them. The companion says, I counted these sheep, these animals. There were only 16, not 60, 16, 1, 6, 16. If I only had 16 companions, not more, I would stand against them, but I don't have those companions. Look, it's all with us. It's not about the Imam. The Imam wants to stand against them, but he can't. He's alone. Right now, in this day, how many companions does the Imam want? 313. How many Muslims that we have? 1 billion. How many Shia do we have? Just 313. That's it. Still 14 centuries. There's no 313. And it all stands with us. No Imam. He wants it from us. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala could have changed that, but He put it in our hands. The key of this reappearance, the key of justice is in our own hands. Every one of you, sisters and brothers, it's in your own hands. Believe me, Allah is telling us it's His own plan, and we see it. If it was supposed that the Imam himself would be a reappearance when he sees dhulm, when he sees injustice, that until today he would have come. So many wars have happened. So many oppressions have happened. Violations have happened. But the Imam didn't come. Why? Because he's waiting for you. He's waiting for you. And the other one, this was the first one of Amir al-Mu'minin. The second one of Amir al-Mu'minin during the famous battle of Siffin against Muawiyah. Amir al-Mu'minin was against Muawiyah. Malik Ashtar, one of the bravest commanders of Amir al-Mu'minin and the group of Amir al-Mu'minin, was near the tent of Muawiyah. He says that I'm seeing Muawiyah and I want to attack them. Muawiyah and his group, they feel the fear that they're losing. We have to do something. And they were very wise people. They were smart. What did they do? They put the Qur'ans on spears. And were asking for peace. Pretending they wanted peace. But they wanted to buy time. They wanted to buy time until they can think of some way of solution, of some way of winning. So they put the Qur'ans on spears. At that moment, corruption happened in the group of Amir al-Mu'minin. In the army of Amir al-Mu'minin, there was corruption. Why? They would say, we're fighting Qur'an. These are Muslims. We're fighting them. The hypocrites came to Amir al-Mu'minin and they threatened Amir al-Mu'minin. You either stop this war or we're going to kill you like Uthman. Or we're going to hand you to the enemies. Stop this war. Amir al-Mu'minin didn't have any choice. He sent a letter to Malik that come back. Malik says, I don't want to come back. I'm seeing Muawiyah. I can kill him. I can finish this war. If Muawiyah would be killed, there would no be Yazid, not Karbala, none of this. If Muawiyah was killed that day, the day of Siffin, Malik is seeing that. Look, that turning point is all with our free will. What happened at that time? The hypocrites told Amir al-Mu'minin, stop it. After that, they wanted negotiation. Amir al-Mu'mineen wants to choose Ibn Abbas. They say, no, he's your family. We don't want him. The army of Amir al-Mu'mineen says, we don't want him. We don't listen to you. We don't want Ibn Abbas. Amir al-Mu'mineen says, okay, no Ibn Abbas. Malik Ashtar. I want Malik Ashtar to go and negotiate with them. They say, no, Malik Ashtar, he wants war. He won't negotiate with peace. He's a man of war. We don't want him. Then who? Who do you want? Abu Musa Ash'ari. We want him. He says, okay, it's with you. On that side, Muawiyah chose Amr As. Amr As was very smart. He was a very smart person, but very evil. So they go talk before they want to negotiate. Abu Musa Ash'ari and Amr As. They go talk together. And they make arrangement that you go up the minbar and say that not Amir al-Mu'mineen, not Imam Ali, and not Muawiyah are imams. We have to choose another one. These two are not good. We have to choose another one. They say, okay, Muawiyah. And no Muawiyah, no Amir al-Mu'mineen, no Imam Ali. Abu Musa Ash'ari is the first one that goes up. He goes like this. He takes out his ring and says, like I took out my ring, I take Amir al-Mu'mineen out of Khalifa. He's no more a caliphate. He's no more a leader. And Amr As goes up. He says, like Abu Musa Ash'ari took his ring out, I will put the ring in. I will put the ring in for Muawiyah. He is the right for Khalifa. That's what happened. Why? Because they choose Abu Musa Ash'ari. Abu Musa Ash'ari was a good Shia. He wasn't bad, but he wasn't wise. Amir al-Mu'mineen wanted who? Wanted Ibn Abbas or Malik Ashtar because he knew he would be fooled. What happened? Muawiyah was chosen. And Muawiyah became, in that time, the Khalifa. Why? Because of that act. These changes were all in the free will of who? The companions of Amir al-Mu'mineen. If Amir al-Mu'mineen wanted to force them, he could have said, no, only Ibn Abbas. Only Malik Ashtar. No Abu Musa Ash'ari. We don't want him. But no. He gave it the key in the hand of those companions. And they misused this key. They misused this key. So we have to learn from all of this effects. In one hand, Shaitan is delaying this reappearance. In other hands, this reappearance is in our hands. We have to do something for it. It's all in our hands. Sallu ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Allahumma salli Muhammad wa ali Muhammad wa ajjal. But there's a problem here. We can't take action until we are not educated. We have to be educated. We have to study. Study what? Study the past actions. Study history. See what they did before and act upon the good and remove the bad. Don't do the bad. We have to act. We have to see what they did. Amir al-Mu'mineen tells Imam Hassan, his son, that I didn't, Ya Hassan, me, Ali, didn't live with those that were past. But I studied their history. I studied it so well, it was like I'm walking with them in that time. You have to study it like that. You are like the part of that time. And we have to act upon that. So we go and see when, because it's the time of Ashura and Muharram, we go study the history of Karbala. When we go and study the history of Karbala, Imam Baqir alayhi salam says, Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad wa ajjal farajah. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad wa ajjal farajah. Imam Baqir says a statement that it's very difficult when we hear it. It's very difficult to understand it. He says that on the year of 70 of Hijri Qamari, 9 years after Imam Hussein, there was going to be a relief. He says faraj. We don't know what the faraj means in that time. Does it mean really the faraj of Imam Zaman? We don't know that. The faraj, it means relief. Faraj in Arabic means relief. There was going to be a relief in that time. 70 of Hijri Qamari, 9 years after Imam Hussein. But because they killed Imam Hussein, this faraj delayed. It was delayed. And year 70, there was no relief. Why? Because they killed Imam Hussein. So we have to learn from that. There was supposed to be a faraj. There was supposed to be relief in that time, but they killed their Imam. They did something that changed this. So we have to learn from them. What did they do? What was their problem that leaded them to killing Imam Hussein? They had some problems. It wasn't just like, okay, I'm going to wake up in the morning, I want to kill Imam Hussein this time. No, they had some backgrounds. There was something that changed them. And we have to learn that. What was that changed them? What was it that it made them killing the Imam? What was that? And when we see and study their actions, we can divide the actions in 3 main parts. The first one is we have personal actions that causes personal consequences. Personal actions that causes personal consequences or generation consequences. For an example, this narration is very beautiful. It says, بَرُّ آبَاءَكُمْ يَبَرُّكُمْ أَبْنَاءَكُمْ عِفُّ أَنِ النِّسَاءَ النَّاسِ تَعِفُّ نِسَاءَكُمْ. If you do good to your fathers, to your parents, your children would do good to you. If you treat your parents good, look, it's a personal action. It's all about me. If I treat my parents good, then my children will treat me good. If I pay attention to them, they will pay attention to me. And some personal actions have consequences in society, in community. When we see it, it has consequences in society. For an example, this narration says that because one mu'min in one community, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will avoid them, will put away the adhab from them. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants to adhab them, but because He sees one mu'min, only one mu'min in this gathering, He will put it away just because of that mu'min. And some acts are community acts. Actions that all community does. Society does. And the consequences is all upon society. It affects society like what? Like in that time, Imam Hussein was going to Kufa, was moving to Kufa. And he sees Marwan in the way. And Marwan tells him that, okay, don't go to Karbala. Yazid is a good person. Don't go into Karbala. Go do bay'ah. What does Imam Hussein alayhi salam says? He says, Inna Allah wa inna ilayhi raji'un wa ala al-Islam salam. It's finished. Why? Because Yazid has come. قد بليت الأمة براع مثل يزيد. This ummah is now suffering because of Yazid. Why? وَلَقَدْ سَمِعْتُ جَدِّي رَسُولُ اللَّهِ يَقُولُ الْخَلَافَةُ مُحَرَّمَةٌ عَلَى آلِ أَبِي سُفْيَانَ فَإِذَا رَأَيْتُمْ مُعَاوِيَةَ عَلَى مِنْبَرِي فَابْقِرُوا بَطْنَهُ فَابْتَلَاهُمُ اللَّهُ بِيَزِيدٍ فَاسِقٍ. Rasulullah said, if you see Muawiyah on my pulpit, remove him from it. But they didn't do that. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is now suffering this society with Yazid, this community, that time with Yazid, because you didn't act upon Muawiyah. You should have talked, you should have acted, you should have removed him, but you didn't do it. And now Yazid has come. What did Yazid do? Look at what Yazid did to them. This tragedy that I'm going to talk about, it's one of the worst, darkest parts of history that we see. It's the tragedy of Harra. We usually talk about before Muharram, before Ashura, until Arba'in. That's what we usually talk in this majalis. But what after that? Okay, Imam Hussein was killed, and until Arba'in, we do the tradition, we get majalis. But after that, what happened to that society? They killed their Imam. What's the bala that it's going to come upon them? This waqa'ah, this tragedy, is that bala. Waqat al-Harra, it was on the 63rd of Hijri Qamari, 2 years after they killed Imam Hussein alayhi salam in Medina. The people of Medina, they felt something like, Yazid killed the son of the Prophet? Something is wrong. Why did Yazid kill him? We have to move upon that. And they removed their allegiance against Yazid. They say, we don't want to be with you. We don't pledge to you anymore. We don't do bay'ah anymore to you. We're not going to give our taxes to you. No, not anymore. They moved, they changed. Yazid sent a letter to them. Yazid sent a letter to them, and the letter was threatening them. It was that, Sallu ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Either you obey me, Yazid said this. Either you obey me, or I will crush you under my feet. I will kill all of you. I won't leave one person of you. You have to pledge to me. They didn't care. The people of Medina, they didn't care. They said, no, we don't want you. You killed Imam Hussein. We don't want that. You killed Imam Hussein. So what did Yazid do? He sent a person named Muslim ibn Aqabah. But because of his israf, because of his excessive in bloodshed, they would call him Musrif ibn Aqabah. And he says, when he is dying, he says that after La ilaha illallah, I said La ilaha illallah, that's the best thing. After that, the best thing is when I killed the people of Medina. That's the best thing I did. He's proud of that. Look how musrif he was. How shameless he was. How ruthless he was. So what did he do? For 3 days, only 3 days, he attacked Medina, the people of Medina. And his army, he told his army that the people of Medina are halal for you. What does it mean? That means they don't have any dignity, they don't have any honor, they don't have anything. You can do whatever you want with them. And let me talk about some of the reports that we have. Some of the crimes that the army did. One of them is killing innocent children. They killed innocent children. There's a report, very hard report. It says one of the soldiers of Sham entered the house of one lady. The lady was feeding the child in her own hands. And she tells the soldier that, please put mercy upon me. Don't kill me, don't do that. The soldier didn't hear her. What did he do? He got that children from her hand and threw it to the wall. And because of that, the child died. And after that, he slaughtered that lady. They killed children. That's not just one of it. The other thing, it's widespread violation against women. Against women in that time. After the Waqa'at al-Harra, reports say that 1,000 women were pregnant. Not because of marriage, but because of that violation. 1,000! Why? Because it was halal. That's what Yazid did to them. That's what Yazid did to them. And Yazid didn't come down until he told them that you have to be my slaves. Only in this situation I will allow that you will be alive. That's what he did. Why? Because the people didn't act when they should have. They should have removed Muawiyah. They didn't. They didn't do that. And they were suffering with Yazid. And these are the same people that did the tragedy to Imam Hussein. They did the tragedy to Muslim ibn Aqil. They are the same people. When Imam Hussein sent Muslim ibn Aqil, what did he say to the people of Kufa? He said, وَقَدْ بَعَثْتُ إِلَيْكُمْ أَخِي وَابْنُ عَمِّي وَثِقَتِي مِنْ أَهْلِ بَيْتِي Muslim ibn Aqil. I'm sending the most truthful person to you. And what did they do? Let me talk about the similarities, some similarities that Muslim has with Imam Hussein. When Muslim went to Kufa, he wasn't alone at the first place. He had 4,000 people that were helping him. But they abandoned him, they abandoned him, they abandoned him until he was alone on that day. Like Imam Hussein alayhi salam. He was alone on the day of Ashura. He was standing on Karbala, on the earth of Karbala, and he would look at the right side of the plain. He would look on the left side, and then he will shout out, Hal min nasirin yansuruni? Is there anybody that can help me? Muslim was the same. He was abandoned like his master. Another similarity that he has with his Imam is that he was killed thirsty like Imam Hussein. Imam Hussein was also killed thirsty. He was that thirsty that he couldn't even see in front of us. He would see smoke in front of us, in front of him. But there's one main difference, one notable difference that Muslim has and Imam Hussein didn't have this. It's that when a Muslim was killed, was slaughtered, his body was on the grounds of Kufa. The lady that helped him the last night, when she went on that grave and she saw him, she figured that she recognized that Muslim and said that this is Muslim. Why are you killing this? But I know one sister that after 50 years, she couldn't recognize the body of Imam Hussein. When she went upon Imam Hussein, she said, Anta akhi, anta ibn walidati, is this you, Ya Hussein, is this you? And she recited this. She said this, it's his words. Goli gom kardam mi juyam ura. به هر گل میرسم میبویم او را. I have lost my flower. I have lost my Imam Hussein. I can't find him. Why can't I find him? Because he has been cutted. His head has been cutted. He has been in his own blood. I can't find him. گل من یک نشانی در بدن داشت. یکی پیراهن کهنه به تن داشت. But my flower had one sign. This flower, Imam Hussein, had one sign. He didn't have proper clothes. His clothes were all ripped off on the day of Ashura. Only one kafan he had. The kafan that his mother had sewed for him. ألا لعنة الله على القوم الظالمين وسيعلم الذين ظلموا أي منقلب ينقلبون. مات من الحسين.